Hey, this is Mark Roberts. I'm here with Davey Dave and...
Guess who's back? Back again. Tootie's back.
Rod Rinks is back, and welcome to Let's Get Into Entertainment, everybody.
The business of entertainment, Mr. Roberts.
That's what's up,
That's right, guys. The business of entertainment. You know, last week's show, the latest shows have been really, really great, and I think it's because we're really getting into the business of entertainment. We really are.
You've been really focused on that. I love it.
I love the idea that, you know, you can be an actor and become a producer. You can be a producer, become a writer. You can be a writer. You can, become a talent manager. You can kind of move around.
Makeup artist, become a filmmaker.
There you go.
A reader.
Today we're going to get Paulina Chávez on the phone. She's an actress. She's
Singer.
a creator. She's a singer. She's a songwriter. She sort of does it all, but we haven't had someone as young as her on the show before. I think it's going to be cool to kind of get her perspective of the business, right?
Well, no, it's Connor?
Yeah, but Connor's 20.
Oh, how old is she?
Oh, wow. Yeah,
She turned 18 on the show. She is the star of The Expanding Universe of Ashley Garcia on Netflix. She is in Feliz NaviDAD, playing Mario Lopez's daughter.
Yeah.
And she's doing all kinds of stuff. We're going to talk to her about her career. We'll be right back.
Take it easy. You take it easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Let's Get Into Entertainment.
Roberts, I think we should address the wind factor going on right now.
And it's definitely not the best scenario.
Well, because it's entertainment. I'm shooting here on this location. Dave, you had to meet with Lopez for something.
True.
Business. Roberts,
I just had to drive down here.
you just had to come over here and do the show. But this is the best place that we could do it right now.
So if you hear some wind, just remember we're doing this thing outside today. We're going to get into it today with Paulina Chávez. She's an actress. She's a songwriter. She's a musician. She's a singer. I know that she's writing some scripts and creating some stories. She's the star of The Expanding Universe of Ashley Garcia on Netflix, and she's also one of the stars of Feliz NaviDAD, coming to Lifetime November 21st, Saturday. I want you guys to check it out. Yeah, thanks, Dave. So let's get her on the phone. Let's see what she's got to say.
Hello.
Hi, Paulina.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, but how are you?
I'm terrific.
Crank caller. Who is this? Robocall.
But Paulina, I have Rod Tootsie Rinks here.
Hi, Paulina.
Hi.
And Davey Dave.
What up?
Hello.
Thank you for being on the show today. I've been wanting to get you on. I had Connor on,
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, well, just to remind everybody, you are also the star of The Expanding Universe of Ashley Garcia on Netflix. You are one of the stars of Feliz NaviDAD, coming to Lifetime November 21st, which is amazing. And I had the pleasure of working with you on both of those, which I think you're terrific.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, my goodness. I had a blast doing both, obviously. Working with amazing people. I
wanted to get into your career because, one thing we don't have on the show a lot is we don't have a lot of young people. We have people that have gone through their careers and they started as one thing and became something else, went to college, were at the Groundlings, did a lot of different things. But, you're one of the most talented people I've met. And you're able to do so many different things, and you're very young. In fact, when we were on The Expanding Universe of Ashley Garcia, I think you turned 18 or you graduated from high school.
First off, thank you so much. What a compliment. And I graduated high school a year early, right before we started shooting Ashley Garcia, and then I turned 18 recently in May.
That's right. I remember that. I mean, so you were the star of a show on Netflix when you were 17.
Which is crazy because I never expected to book anything at 17 because I always had 17 and 16, they're just such a weird age that no one's going to book you, so you just have to keep on working. So I didn't expect to book anything until I turned 20. So it was really cool.
Yeah. It was amazing. So I want to ask you this because I want to go a little bit into your story. Where are you from?
I'm originally from El Paso, Texas, and then I moved to San Antonio, Texas when I was around 6 years old.
Okay, so you've been growing up in San Antonio, Texas, and how early did you start asking your parents to get you involved in show business?
It was pretty early. I remember when I got to San Antonio and my elementary school had this drama program, and I decided I wanted to audition, and so I did, and ever since then, that's when I fell in love with acting, theater, and, singing and dancing, the whole thing. And I remember my grandma telling me that when I was like really young, little, maybe 4 years old, and we were watching novelas together, that I would point at the TV and be like, yo me voy a ver allí. And so I guess it's always been in my blood to want to be an entertainer. I always wanted to be a doctor, a detective, and so with acting, like, I can do it all, like,
Yeah.
And so I think it was in middle school when I decided I didn't really want to do a lot of theater and wanted to try film acting. And so I talked to my parents, and my mom did a lot of research and taking me to acting classes. We would go to Dallas almost every weekend, which is a 5-hour drive.
Wow.
And it would
That's
be
a
a one-day
commitment.
trip. Yeah, and so my mom and my dad would do the 5-hour. I mean, I didn't drive back then, so. But I remember the first time that I did drive to Dallas with my mom with my permit, it was exhausting.
Oh.
And I couldn't do it.
It's funny. I was talking to your mom, and by the way, say hello to Patty Chavez for me. I'm a big fan of hers. I'm a big fan of your dad's.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, we all hung out a lot together. But I was talking to her, and she was saying that sometimes she would have to take you for a weekend courses, and I guess stay the weekend and then have to drive back.
So those were like weekend intensives, and those were the best. I feel like I learned so much from those. But we did try weekly classes, and that's when we would have to drive 5 hours and then take the class and then drive 5 hours back, which is exhausting for my parents. But I'm grateful they did support me and continue to support me in everything that I do.
So let's break it down a little bit for people that are listening. You were a big fan of getting involved in show business. You started auditioning in middle school for stuff, and then you sort of fell in love with it. But you specifically wanted to get into, is it film and TV or just film?
I honestly was pretty open. I mean, like every kid wanted to start it off at Disney. That was my dream. But eventually I started actually watching films and lots of TV shows, and I was always into drama.
Yeah.
Drama was something that I always wanted to do. I still want to do. And so I never saw myself doing comedy. I never thought I was a funny person.
Yeah.
And so I was always doing, drama.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I did one scene with my acting coach, and it was a comedy. And I think I was just supposed to be the reader. And she looked at me and she's like, Paulina, oh my God, you're like actually funny.
So you decided to start taking these courses, and driving and having your parents drive you. So at that point, there were sort of intensive acting courses that had to do with just acting in general, right? For television, for film. How did opportunities start knocking? I mean, because to get from San Antonio to Hollywood the way you did is pretty remarkable.
Okay, so I was also taking some classes in San Antonio because obviously, taking weekend classes in San Antonio and like gradually going to Dallas. So the acting coach in San Antonio was also connected with my acting coach in Dallas. And so she brought down some agents. And I think the first one was Innovative, and with Jennifer Petrides. So she came down, and it was like I just signed up to the San Antonio class. And so they have this like system where the people who have been there longer get like pay first and get, the slot first, basically. And so I remember my mom was sitting right next to my acting coach in San Antonio, like ready to give him the payment. And I think there was only like 3 slots open. And he because he didn't know me, he didn't know that I could possibly act or if I was possibly good. And so my mom was sitting there, and he kind of didn't want to let us in because there was Jennifer Petrides, one of the biggest agents out there. And so he was like, fine, I'll let y'all in. And so we went in, and there was a 2-day intensive with this agent, and we basically showed off one of the scenes that we've been working on for months. And then the next day, the acting coach from Dallas would give us a scene that we had to rehearse and get it done the next day, basically. And so I remember she was interested in me, but, nothing happened with that because, again, it was my first, real thing or whatever workshop that you call it. But a few months later, Mitchell Gossett came to San Antonio with my Dallas and San Antonio agent in San Antonio. And that's when it happened. That's when he looked at me and he was like, I want to sign you. And I was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, now what?
Wow.
And from there, it was, I was auditioning for 5+ years, and then I landed Ashley Garcia. Of course, before I landed Ashley Garcia, I was doing little projects here and there, locally in Austin mostly. So yeah.
That's amazing. So, all right, great. So that's great information for people that are thinking about getting in the business.
And even that, Robert, see, it took her 5 years. Some people think it happens overnight, especially with somebody that young. Like, she must have just walked in and like, boom. Doesn't always happen like that.
And I think the really important thing here, and I say this to people every once in a while, and sometimes I feel like it's I don't know, it's a disappointing thing to hear, but I tell people all the time, I say, look, you want to be an actor, you want to be in entertainment, you have to train.
No, yeah, the training can never stop. Even if you have booked something, it doesn't guarantee your future. You still have to keep on working twice as hard to get recognized and to book another job. So, the work never stops.
I think that's the key for young actors. I don't know how you know this, and maybe it was through your training, but when you work on a multi-camera show, there's a lot of rules to where the camera's at, to finding, to where what's going to be taking you and watching you, and what, how not to block your other actors when they're doing scenes. There's a lot of information that you sort of need as an actor. So first thing is you have to be a great actor, or at least a decent actor. And then you have to understand the rules of the game so that you make the job of the showrunners and the directors easier for them to get their show, right? So, okay, so moving forward, how did you hear that there was even a show called Ashley Garcia and that they were making it? Like, how did that come up?
It was a regular Wednesday night, and I got an audition for the expanding universe of Ashley Garcia. And I was like, man, that's a long title.
I think Netflix figured that out too.
I was reading, the character breakdown and stuff, and it was due on a Friday morning. And so, I remember one of the very first drafts of it when I auditioned was Ashley Garcia, 15. She's wearing pigtails, glasses, and a nerdy girl sweatshirt with a periodic table element.
Right.
And I've been auditioning for years, and at this point I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play the part, and I'm gonna print out nerdy girl and tape it to my sweatshirt, and that's what I did. It was a fun process, and I remember my mom, she's always my reader, and so I was like, what do you think? Should I do this? Should I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I have a migraine. Shut up. I'm hurting right now. And so she was like laying on the bed, and she's just like, okay, let's do this. And I'm like, oh wait, should I do this? Should I do that? And she's just like, just do it. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I have nothing to lose. And I think that mindset really, helped me be confident. It's like, I've been auditioning, and if this one I don't get it, that's okay. There's going to be many to come.
Right. When you get breaks, you've already been working and training, and when you tell yourself, you know what, I'm gonna go all out, I'm gonna try something different, I'm gonna give it something special, even though they didn't ask me to, and then all of a sudden, the stars align and you get an opportunity like that. But I will say that when we met, I had already seen you on tape, but what was really impressive to me on the show, it says you were all young. The whole cast was young, and to see you guys working with someone as seasoned as Seth Kurland and David Kendall and and Mario Lopez and all these guys directing you and telling you what to do, it seemed like you guys had been doing it forever. Like, was it daunting that it was such a big thing?
I mean, when I tested for the role, and I remember we drove past the lot, the Netflix building, just to see where it was. Obviously, that's something that we learned in LA prep or something like that. And so we drove past the lot, and I remember seeing the building, and I had Netflix on it, and I started hyperventilating. I was freaking out. But I think when I started shooting, it didn't hit me that, you know, I'm doing what I love until I feel like 3 months into shooting, we would be shooting and I would be looking at the cameras and then looking at the lights above me and like the set, and I'd be like, shit, man, I'm doing it. I'm living the
life. and that's so exciting, and I'm so glad you enjoyed that.
Yeah. And then it just became surreal when, I mean, we saw the billboard on Sunset Boulevard.
Well, forget Sunset Boulevard. You were in Times Square. Didn't you see yourself in Times Square?
That was crazy.
Why are you hating on LA, Robert? What's wrong with the Sunset Strip?
I love the Sunset Strip.
I mean, I'd rather be on the Strip than in Times Square right now.
I don't know, dude.
True that.
Well,
I mean, it is 70 in New York, though. It's warmer there than it is here.
Dude, right now it's been like 110 degrees out here every day, and now it's.
You know what was hot? Paulina will appreciate this. We were doing a show in San Antonio, and Lopez said, "Hey, we got to go meet the new star of Ashley Garcia," and we went to was it like a barbecue joint, Paulina? Yeah, it was a barbecue.
It was.
And the electricity went out.
Oh my god!
It was hot as hell. We were in there.
I really thought that was planned. Like, it was like, okay, Mario's requesting to leave already. Like, we need to shut down the power so that he has an excuse to leave so that he doesn't sound.
No, that was not planned. We were roasting in there.
Oh my god. That was like the hottest day in San Antonio.
I love that she thought he was like the president, right? Okay, like in 15 minutes, shut off the power and
well, no, you know, you come in and then there was like security and they kind of made way and there was a table and the whole bit, and then Paulina came over. I think you were with your mom and your sister or something? You're with a few people.
I was with both of them, but I remember, oh my goodness, my phone broke like a week before that. So when I was trying to text Mario that I was like at the door to go in, it wouldn't let me type. And so it would take me like 10 minutes to type something and they wouldn't let me in. And I was like, oh, please, can I go in? Mario's requesting me. So my sister, she just goes and she, do you know who she is?
Oh my god!
She's gonna be the star of the show. And I was like,
oh, that's a great story. Thanks for jumping in there, Tootie. Because normally Tootie tells stories, but 9 out of 10 times I got to cut him out. But that's a good one. That was a good one.
See, this is why I don't like you, Robert.
Wait, hang on a second. Can we get back to our guest just for a second?
That was about the guest. What are you talking about? You're just mad because it's not about you.
That's true. That's true. Normally I like it when it's about me. I want to get back on track here. So there's additional episodes coming that we can announce too, right? There's a Christmas episode coming of Ashley Garcia, Genius in Love.
Yes, there's one more episode coming. It's the Christmas episode. I don't even remember what the title of the Christmas episode was, but you know, there's some cool stuff happening there.
So that's in December. By the way, Ashley Garcia, everyone involved with it was amazing. Every minute of being on that show was a remarkable experience. And I hope, you know, that somewhere along the line we get to do more of those. We'll see.
Let's make it a movie.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Well, you know what, Robert? Ashley Garcia came about over a decade ago, right?
Yes.
And you were the one who kind of brought the idea.
Well, I didn't bring the idea because I don't want it to be misconstrued. I didn't bring the idea.
Well,
someone came to me with a concept.
Yes.
That I then took to Lopez, and 10 years later it became Ashley Garcia, but it had nothing to do with the original concept.
Right.
Zero, absolutely zero. But you know, that's a good point, Tootie. Like a lot of times you come up with something or you bring something to the table and it ends up being something else. Yeah. But you know, you could still be part of something special. So I chose to be part of it.
So we should thank you, Mark Roberts.
No, okay.
Thank you, Mark.
Anyway, I'm gonna cut this out.
No, don't cut it out. Leave it in.
All right. So we meet. We have this great time on Ashley. We spend like an entire year together. And then Mario and I come together with this idea for Feliz NaviDAD. Now, the whole time he was going to have a daughter, and the whole time we were thinking it's going to be you.
No way.
There was never a doubt. There was never a doubt. We didn't even audition people for that part. There was no other conversation. There was no one considered. It was always you. But we were certain for lots of reasons, because we had already worked with you. We knew that. One thing I know for sure is that when we watched you on Ashley, even though it was a comedy, there were moments of drama in the shows, and you were really great at them, and you were very sincere. Just to let people know what we're talking about the movie Feliz NaviDAD, which is about a single father loses his wife. He has a daughter who's 13, wants to get him back in the dating scene, so hooks him up on an app where he can swipe left or right, and tries to get him back into a dating situation. And of course, in addition to that, they find the Christmas spirit.
I can't play 13 anymore.
Did I say 13? I'm sorry.
I remember when you first told Jen and I about it, you said it was a 13-year-old, and I think you guys changed it to a 15.
We did. I think you're right. So she's 15 years old in the movie because it had to be closer to you. But you did everything we thought you would do because they're singing. You even play the guitar in this movie. But it's a beautiful movie. It was you. It was Mario. It was Mary Carmen Lopez. I'm sorry. Is it Mary Carmen Schulman now? Yeah. Okay, so we don't know.
It's Mary Carmen Lopez Schulman.
Mary Carmen Lopez
Schulman.
Damn.
That's some Mexican stuff right there.
And some guy named Rodney Rinks.
That's what's up.
Rodney Rinks is in it, and
Anna Lynn.
McCord. No, Anna Lynn McCord stars in it with Mario. But it was a really fun cast. I'm really proud of the movie. I think that we did a lot with a little. One of the weirdest things about that film is that it was during the pandemic in June, and they didn't allow us to have chairs. They didn't allow us to have areas to eat. So it was like really back to independent filmmaking where you were handing people a box and saying, go sit on a curb somewhere and have your lunch.
Yeah.
And SAG would never allow that any other time. But that was a crazy time. I mean, we were really like, it was like doing a $10,000 movie.
Yeah, I mean, it was insane. Yeah, we were taking COVID tests every week. It was so fun having us stick up your nose. Yeah. But, we took all the precautions. We were sanitizing every half hour. We were, of course, taking the COVID test, having our temperature taken. I think it was once a day and then moved twice a day. So, we were social distancing, and the only time we weren't wearing masks was when we were either acting or eating.
Yeah. I thought back on it. I said you had worked all that year on Ashley, and then you took a break, and then we went to do Feliz NaviDAD again, which airs on Lifetime Television the 21st of November. It's like the week of Thanksgiving, so it's a beautiful time. And by the way, Lifetime's really thrilled with it. They're so happy with how the film came out. But you went directly from Ashley to that film. Did that feel weird to go like from multi-camera to a single camera? No. I've been working for a while, so most of the stuff that I did was single cam. And so, working on Ashley, everything was so quick paced, and I was ready for something slow or paced a little bit, and just chilling, and, it was fun. So I was used to it. I was ready to get back into it. That's cool. And let me ask you, in terms of the different ways to shoot a show, multicam, single cam, sometimes they have two cameras, but is there any particular format that you like better than another?
I enjoy it all, but, I do like single cam a lot.
It must have been really cool to see all of those people in the audience for Ashley Garcia cheering and laughing and stuff.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's another thing that I loved about Ashley Garcia. It reminds me of theater in a way. And I remember being so nervous doing it because I hadn't done theater in years. So it kind of brought me back like home in a way.
I think the key thing I want people to take from this interview is that, well, obviously you're very talented and they can watch you in a couple of things. They can watch you on Ashley Garcia on Netflix. They can watch you on Feliz NaviDAD coming up on Lifetime. And I also want them to take that you need to train yourself and be ready for your opportunity, because obviously you trained, your parents committed to you, got you to your classes, And when your opportunity came, you killed it.
Thank you.
I want to leave this with you giving people any advice you have for people that are actors or out there trying to make their dreams come true.
Work hard. Always be working on yourself and your acting. Never think you're better than anyone, because you have to work on it, and never give up. That's the biggest one. And there's a lot of rejection that comes with acting, and that's just something to be aware of going in. You get 100 auditions before you book one is always something that I've read, and it's true. It really is true. But you just got to keep working at it and know that there is something out there for you, because again, you can be so ready and so prepared and the best actor who auditioned for a role, but there's so much that goes into it. Maybe your parents don't look like that, or there's so much that goes into casting, but that doesn't mean that you aren't good enough. You are good enough, and eventually you will book a role that's meant for you.
That's really sound advice. Solid. Yeah. Tootie, did you write that down?
I did. Thank you.
Wise
guy over here.
No, that is great advice, and I think people need to hear it. Was it interesting, or I'm going to give you a multiple choice? Was it interesting? Was it boring? Was it frustrating to work with Mario Lopez twice?
Oh, I mean, it was interesting.
He might be sitting right here, by the way.
I just got a phone call from Cornejo, so I have a feeling he's gonna be coming over here any minute, going, "Are you guys done yet? Come on, we gotta go. We gotta do this shoot."
But no, let me explain myself, because when I worked on Ashley Garcia, I barely got the chance to work with Mario. Mario always had scenes with Giancarlo. I probably had like 2 scenes with him. And so when I did work with him on Feliz NaviDAD, we had quite a bit of scenes together, and I can say that he is like an annoying older brother to me. We would fight so much.
I've worked with him for 14 years, Paulina. 14 years every day, sometimes 7 days a week. 14 years.
No, like we would literally have little disagreements right before having to do an emotional thing, and love each other. And so I mean, I love him. He's a great person. It was interesting.
Don't get any tattoos, by the way.
No. Oh my God.
Start that way.
No, we're gonna have to bring her back for that story. Yeah. Jeez. But I remember, there was many times that that you guys would do scenes, and you guys would be having a little bit of disagreement about how it should go, what should happen, whether or not you should do something or not. And then the camera would roll, and it's funny, while I was working on the editing, in the editing of it, I would remember what was happening that day, and I was like, wow, that's amazing that she was able to sort of just turn that off. Paulina, I just want to congratulate you on all of your successes. You've done an amazing job. Obviously, you've trained for it. You've worked hard for it. Your parents have supported you, and Tootie was just saying you deserve it. So thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Will you come back again?
After you book your next big gig, which you will do shortly, I can guarantee it, then you got to come back and talk to us about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully, next time COVID cases are down and very, because it's getting worse, I believe. Yeah. I'm looking at the news, but we get to do this in person next time.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Well, listen, again, say hi to your mom and dad for me. Thank you for being on the show. Congratulations, and we'll talk soon.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me. And thanks for the opportunity with Ashley Garcia. All right. Bye.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Great interview, Roberts. You're getting better. You're like the Mario Lopez of podcast.
Oh, stop it.
You're getting good. I work with the guy every day. I know how good he is.
I want to tell you something. I was really happy to get Paulina on the show. She's unique. If you watch her work, if you watch Ashley Garcia, if you watch Feliz NaviDAD, you'll notice someone who works on her craft.
Yeah.
Whether it's drama, whether it's comedy, she's terrific, and she's a musician, and she's got a ton of talent. So it was really nice to talk to her. We've spent a lot of time together working together, but there's something really special, and I'm really proud of her. All of the work that she's done, how she comports herself, and I think she's going to be one of our finest, Latina actresses
going forward. Yeah, I agree.
Going forward, and I look forward to everything she does, and I hope to get to work with her again. Hopefully I do Feliz NaviDAD too. So since we're on this and we're talking about music,
Yep.
I want to talk about extrememusic.com with our guy, Russ Emanuel.
Love Russ.
So let's talk about something real quick. So, Tootie,
Yes.
Made in Mexico, is it done?
We're really, really close.
Okay, so
really close.
did Russ give you a good deal on the music?
Yes.
He did?
I'm not gonna-
you're hesitating. I don't know.
No, Russ, let me tell you something. Russ is the guy.
Hooked you
Russ
up.
is my man. I appreciate him.
How many cues? How many cues?
How many cues do we have?
Yeah.
Like 3 pages.
Wow.
3 pages of cues. So that's probably 10 cues a page. So 30 cues from Extreme Music?
Well, there was a mix. There was some other ones, but
Okay.
for the most part, it was like 95% Extreme Music.
Oh, I
And
love that
he
story.
gave me an amazing, amazing deal, and I'm very grateful to Russ and Joel and everybody who's
Richard
working on
Alarcon.
this. Richard Alarcon, who used a lot of that library, knowing that, and it's incredible, and I can't thank him enough.
Yeah.
And Made in Mexico is going to be fucking badass.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Nice.
What kind of movie is Made in Mexico? Just so I can connect it to his library. What kind? Is it a comedy?
Comedy.
It's a comedy.
Comedy would has like thriller elements to it.
Comedy with a thriller element. Is it Southwestern? Does it have any kind of Latino feel to it?
It's going to be it has a little bit Southwestern, has a little bit of like spaghetti Western. It has some a little bit of hip hop to it.
So
It's
Russ
fun.
had everything in available to you for your movie. Hey, Mario Lopez just walked up. He wants to
'cause I
take
gotta go to work.
You got to go to work.
Because you took 20 minutes on that.
All right, that's showbiz. He says.
All right, later.
Hey, say bye to Russ. You can't just leave the commercial like that.
All right, Russ, you the man. Thank you.
Hey, Teddy has to go make a living, I guess. Okay,
Yeah.
bro. Well, see,
Trying to wrap it up.
the podcast actually came to Tootie for his job,
Yeah.
and now Tootie has to go do his job, and we're sitting here drinking Bud Lights and talking about Russ. But I want to congratulate Russ. He continues to provide an amazing service with extrememusic.com, and I also want to say thanks for hooking us up for all our movies, dude. That's amazing.
It's perfect.
All right. What's up, Foo? Anyway, extrememusic.com for all your music needs. Dave, you got to do a movie so we can get Russ involved in your movie next.
I know. I'm going to make it a little short. How about that?
Are you making it short?
Yeah, I'll use all the cues.
All right, good.
Yeah.
All right, well, definitely shout out to Russ and extrememusic.com. And don't forget to watch Feliz NaviDAD, November 21st on Lifetime Television. That's a Saturday night. So that's a good night to watch a movie, Dave.
I'm gonna curl up by the fireplace, grab some Casa Mexico tequila.
There you go.
And have a night.
It's going to be beautiful. But yeah, definitely check that out. Thanks again, Paulina, for being on the show. You're amazing. Dave, thanks for hanging till the very end.
Of course, man. Always. Thank you guys.
What's new in podcasting? Here's what we love, courtesy of Acast Recommends.
I love a Lifetime movie. Hey y'all, I'm Naomi Ekperigin.
And I'm her good friend, Megan Gately.
It's true. And we are the hosts of the brand new podcast, I Love a Lifetime Movie, a weekly pod that is as obsessed with Lifetime movies as you are. Yes, you are. Don't pretend you're not, because you are.
Every week, we are going to pick a different Lifetime movie and dissect all the drama, shocking twists, oh boy, are there some, tears, and the trials and tribulations of women that are just on the verge.
Honey, these women are murdering, honey. They're having affairs, honey. And there is a movie called Psycho Granny. Okay, I'm done. Just subscribe. Just subscribe.
Acast Recommends.